You can fuck with that thing, but let's keep it
right there.
Let's keep
you just
it
want
real.
to keep it
Dude,
right
you're
there.
fucking.
You like it?
I don't know if I'm a fan. to be honest
Why?
with you.
What's wrong?
It's the.
I can't. She won't let me shave. So I basically like this is as close as I can get to seeing my chin. You know, like that. That's what I get. What do you want?
Why though?
Why?
Yeah.
She just doesn't. She said I look like I'm 12. She wants to date a man. So when I shave, then I look like
Why
I
do you
get
shave
ID'd
the
for
chin?
diapers. I pruned it. Really, I'd love to just take it all out of there and just have just that. You know what I mean? But she doesn't. She's
Like
not
that. Is that like the Amish thing?
No,
Where
I don't think so.
They keep it here,
No.
but they shave it here?
No, I don't
Is
think
that how it
it's
works?
well. And I had the Sam Elliott rocking for a little while. You know, I can pull. I've got the good curl going in there. So you know, that's
Your
how it
fro?
is. It's fluffy.
Yeah.
She doesn't like that either.
So what's good? What's shaking? What's new? What's
Just
different?
living, man. Been just getting older and watching things progress, and working way too much all the time, and growing the business. It's been good. I miss being downtown. I really did enjoy the vibe that I got and that I pushed out on playing music way too loud, but I miss being downtown. But it's more business out there, and the sizing of my building really didn't allow me to do the caliber of work that I wanted to do. So
Yeah, dude, you went from basically
1,200 square foot to basically 6,000 square foot. So
Jesus Christ.
big difference in size. Beyond that, just trying to like I said, man, getting old sucks. I cut my hand, which was pretty awesome, and just normal stuff. Living, just trying to find.
You still in Onekama?
I am in Onekama, yeah. So, and I like Onekama. It's nice. Definitely want to find somewhere, some property, and get out in the open air a little bit more. Been just a lot of work, like finding time to get away and try to reconnect with the ground. It's just so busy. Having a responsibility, which you're well aware of, it's like it never ends. You can work when you're at home, you can work, and there was some sort of thing that I seen. And basically, it says your kids, when you get old, will never care how much you work.
No,
they
nobody's
only care
gonna give a shit how long you
nobody
work.
cares.
Yeah.
So, for me, I've always been a grinder. I work all the time, and it's just been kind of my life. So like switching from working oil and gas, which I did for 14 years, working
What a fucking job
night and
that must
day.
have been.
It was awesome.
Jesus.
It was like being in the military, but I didn't have to shoot anybody. You know what I mean? It was traveling, it was adventurous. I got to see a lot of the country on somebody else's dime. Pennsylvania and West Virginia and Kentucky and Ohio, all the places I traveled.
Didn't you go out in the Gulf too?
I didn't. I never went offshore. Something about I love Hawaii, but
I thought you did offshore drilling.
No, I did directional drilling. So
This episode is brought to you by Brandon Ball, broker owner of Dwelling Realty, Keller Williams, Northern Michigan. Are you looking to sell your home? Then look no further. When you list your home with Brandon Ball, you'll get a trusted advisor who will guide you through the entire selling process. With extensive knowledge of the local market, he'll help price your home competitively to attract the right buyers. And with proven marketed strategies, your home will be seen by the most qualified of buyers. With 17 years in the business, you'll have someone experienced who's on your side. Contact Brandon today to get started selling your home. 231-690-4981. That's 231-690-4981. Or Brandon at dwellingrealty.com.
I did, we
For
go
gas.
down for gas and oil.
Okay.
Both. So, and I really enjoyed it. It was a good. I like the mentality of everybody that you're working with. It all has the same idea. It's not like working somewhere where somebody hates their job. Like everybody liked their job and they did a good job. So, I miss that type of very military minded. I worked from 6 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning. If I was on days, I worked from 6 in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. So it was very regimental, which is good when you're in.
When you got fucking ADHD like you have.
Well, yeah,
Clearly.
I'm fluttering right now. You know what I mean? So it's something that for me, like that's what me and Sarah were just talking about this last night. It's like I have to have lots of things going on. When I only have one thing going on, I can't stand it because it's not enough to keep me in the game, So I'm multitasker, phone ringing, coffee in one hand, cigarette in the other, knee on the wheel, adjusting the radio. Like I've always been that way, and it's for me, it's just the way I am, there's no changing it. So I make adjustments to make it work, like that's pretty much how it is for me.
Why such a large space out there in Parkdale?
Well, the problem I had downtown is I would book, motorhomes and boats. I think one summer it rained every weekend, so I lost all that work. I got lots of calls from Morton Salt for cleaning out semi trucks. They couldn't even get into my parking lot, which I haven't really told them that I could do that now, because it's usually 2 o'clock in the morning somebody comes in with a trailer. But it allows me the opportunity to do anything that's MDOT legal to drive down the road, height and width wise, to come through my door. So like tomorrow we've got a semi truck we're going to do, which downtown I couldn't even get the stacks through the door. And most like travel trailers, not a fifth wheel, just a pull behind with the air conditioning unit is like 11.6. My doors were 10.6. So I couldn't get it in there. And like a truck with a plow on, I could pull the truck in, but I had to take the plow off, So the space is, they always tell you if you're going to build, go big or go home. And, when you build something, it's just like when you move into a house. You're like, oh, my God, this is so much space. And you get all your stuff in there, and you're like, I need a bigger house, So I'm like, I just figured right out the gate that if I put up something big and, I could make it work for a long time. And I didn't build that space for me, I mean, the job that I'm doing is very labor intensive. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing this in 20 years, I don't know.
You can't be, not the pace you're going.
I mean, and that's just it. I'm same as you. We run a lot of hours a week, and that's a part of the game. There is nobody to catch you when you fall, so to speak, when you're on your own. So you got to make sure you build your own safety net. And the property, I really wanted to find somewhere in Manistee that would have been a great fit for me property-wise, but it seemed like everything that I looked at was either in a brownfield state or the building was in such disrepair. To bring it back to what I need to be able to clean, it would have cost me more money to just start from scratch. And there was a lot of things that I did that most people wouldn't think to do. Like I went to the lumber yard and I was like, hey, what do you have that's special order that somebody ordered and never came picked up? And they're like, oh, we got semi-trailers full. So I went through and I picked things that were cost effective that would utilize for my space and make it so that I wasn't spending a lot of money to have nice stuff. I have nice things, and I was able to be cost effective with it. And in the long-term scale of that, like, when you build something, you want it to be amazing. You want to have the curb appeal, and like barns, most everybody either gets a red barn or a green barn, and I wanted something that was a little bit different in color. It blended with the woods. Until Culver's, they ripped that house down, it was really hard to see my space. Now with Culver's going in, I mean, I can see the hospital from my property.
You're going to get 400 pounds just sucking down.
No,
I can see you
not.
sucking down butter burgers all day long. Getting some of that frozen custard.
I would say the first
better
time.
Than ice cream.
No, jeez.
Not a sponsor, though.
I kind of went on a little bit of a mission as far as trying to get where I needed to be health-wise and weight. I still have a couple of bad habits I'd like to shake.
Yeah.
But,
Quit fucking smoking.
Yeah. Well, we're not all perfect. So, but, and I want to get you back on the bacon, at least one strip a month.
Negative.
It's okay. We'll talk about it later.
Let's talk about it now. What are you doing for your health?
We'll
take smoking cigarettes and chewing fucking Copenhagen off the table. What are all the good things you're doing?
I mean, I switched my eating habits. I started doing these shakes. Sarah really wanted me to get involved in the juicing, which was doing the celery juice and lemon water.
I heard celery juice is money for it.
It's great, and I really liked it. But when I started off way too heavy. Like, you should have been doing maybe 8 to 16 ounces, and it was not productive to my day. You got to have. I'm a once a day type of guy, and 4 to 5 times a day, and it's not. It's like that alarm clock. The one I'm talking about when you're sleeping, and all of a sudden everything stops. Like, you got to go.
That's not a good alarm clock.
No, it's not. And it caught me off guard a couple times. I mean, I wasn't ready. So I stopped doing that. And it's like with anything. I think moderation is really the goal. But like, I was going through Sam's Club, which I'm a frequent Sam's Club purchaser. I like buying in bulk, and they had this product there. It was called Super Grass, Amazing Greens. And basically what it is it's all your greens broke down. They're dried, and 1 scoop of that is equivalent to 2 cups of vegetables, which, I talked to a lot of people about it because I got excited about it. And I probably turned 14, 15 people onto the product, and we all joke because it's like once you're on the juice, like, you're juicing. So like, I was doing a can of pineapple juice, And then I had 5. There's immunity, there's detox, gut health, there is antioxidants, there is super berry, and then super greens. So I was doing 5 scoops of this with the juice and the 1 can of small can of the pineapple juice, and then I'd mix in like, I don't know, apple juice or something else, blend it up, and I would drink that, and I would drink water. And I went from 240 pounds down to 180 pounds from April to like July. So I cut basically like 60 pounds. And then since then, I've put back, through Thanksgiving, we got hunting and I got busy and I kind of got off the juice and I put 20 pounds on. So
you fat bastard.
In a year, I've basically fluctuated almost 80 pounds, which is huge. And I don't go to the gym, but my step count, I was averaging like 10,000 steps a day. So I was killing it as far as what I was doing for, exercise, if you will. I call it work, but, so.
Farm is strong.
To me, it made me feel like I was very energetic. It definitely put a pep in my step. And
but you're eating though too.
Well, I was eating, but I really changed what I was eating. Like I wasn't going basically when you're doing 10 cups of vegetables, like how much food are you really going to need to eat? You know what I mean? So like I would go eat where normally I would get soup, salad, fries, and then eat my meal, whether it was a burger or a steak, and I would finish it because that's kind of what we're taught.
We're men.
Well, no, it's just something that I think. Like my grandpa said.
Clean up that plate, boy.
Well, and here's the thing with it, is that when my grandpa was growing up, he said the serving plate that they would get food on is about the size of a salad plate now. So we went from a salad plate to be able to eat our dinner on to a serving plate, which you would bring your whole meal out on. So our consumption level is way higher. We're not as active as we were, 40, 50 years ago when you farmed and you were active. So I think a lot of that has to do with it too. But it's easy, all the foods that are convenient are bad for you. All the things that you have to work for, whether you got to cook it, you got to juice it, you got to work for it. So, for me, and Sarah kind of looked over the products that I was taking. She said there's like one bad thing in it, but everything else kind of countered it. So I got the green light approval to continue.
What was the one bad thing?
I don't remember, but it wasn't anything like super bad. Like she sent me pictures of bacon underneath a microscope, and there's like plastics in it, and I told her, we've had quite a few conversations about foods. I still am going to eat a cookie. I'm still going to have a donut. I'm still going to have some bacon every now and again. And it's because, I don't think you should strip yourself of things that are okay. My grandpa lived to be 94 years old. He had bacon, he had eggs, he had toast. He worked, and I feel like the biggest problem is the farm to table. When you start getting processed foods, stuff that's,
100%.
That's where it goes bad. Like we found an orange juice, which normally orange juice makes me like super phlegmy. I don't really like it. It's an organic orange juice. The only ingredient in it is orange juice. So when you get like the citric acids and all stuff, I drink a glass of orange juice right now, I get all phlegmy. But this orange juice we found, I don't get any of that. So it's all the additives that are in it. And, I think that as we get older, we try to find ways to not feel bad. And if you can change your eating habits or change your consumption on something, for me, the hard one's coffee. I probably, people complain about the price of gas, but I pay $7 for a half gallon of creamer, and I'm probably drinking,
Dude, if you're going to cut one thing out of your diet today, cut that fucking creamer out.
I get it. I don't like
not that sugary shit out of your diet. That fake, sugary bullshit. If you're going to drink cream, make it the real deal, dude.
I get it. And it's, I never was a big coffee drinker. I was working oil and gas. I was just getting started, and they work. You're working like 18, 20 hours a day. And the name of the guy that I was working with was Gary Finan. They called him the Flying Hawaiian. And because he was just wired. So I'm working for him, and they have these like squawk boxes, like something that you'd have in like a 1940s battleship. You'd hit the button, you'd talk. So we get done drilling, and we'd take a survey. So you'd stop drilling, stop the pumps, and it would give data up through the drill string, basically. And I had to read the inclination and the azimuth. So I pushed the button down to read inclination, and I fell asleep with my finger on the trigger. So
what
he
does that
couldn't
do?
call me.
You keep
up and down
gotcha.
and left and right. So I was trying to give him the information so he can continue to drill. I'm in the trailer, my finger on the button, sleeping, and he opens the door and he's like, "You're about one more nap away from the unemployment line. I swear to God, if you fall asleep one more time, you're out of here." And I started drinking coffee, and I never stopped, So it's those things that, and coffee really doesn't, Sarah follows a guy that's medical medium, and she's really big on him. And he said basically coffee to your system is really bad for you. Like, coffee has no benefit. It strips you of all your vitamins.
I don't believe that.
I know, but the same thing your beliefs on bacon. I don't believe that bacon's bad for you.
No.
You know?
No. We'll rewind that real quick. I don't believe that bacon's bad for people. I believe that bacon's bad for me and certain other people.
Oh, yeah.
When I stopped eating pork and red meat, dude, all my inflammation went away.
And that's just what it is.
You know, and that was huge for me.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I don't even want to tickle that.
No, that's fine. I get it. But, like, and for me, like, you know, there's certain foods that you know is poison. You know what I mean? You eat it and it does nothing for you. You feel terrible. So, like, I think, you know, as we grow mature in our taste and what we really want, that's like a long time ago I decided, like, eating Thanksgiving dinner. I was like the first one in the line at the buffet, the last one to finish it, you know, and eat until you're miserable, and I stopped doing that. So, like, I would go with Thanksgiving, I would get a plate, take small portions of things. If there's something I really liked, I'd go back and get a little bit more. But before, it was just like, oh, I'll have a little of this, and it's just a mountain, you know? Yeah, just chuffing. And so I know that it's just one of those things that you figure it out, you know? Like, I still like a Coke every once in a while. There's still things that I don't think I'll ever come off from, you know? And, like, I think it all comes down to how you feel and how you want to feel, you know? And if you know something's bad for you and you still continue to do it, then that's on you, you know? I mean, I've tried to quit smoking, I think, since the day I started, you know? And I've given it up. I had a year and a half in. I was doing really good. I called a buddy of mine. I was like, I just want a cigarette. He's like, what? And I was like, he's like, you haven't smoked in a year and a half. I was like, I don't know why. I just want one. I'm going to get one. And that was over a year and a half ago. I smoked that one cigarette. So I used to have friends when we were growing up. They'd have a pack of cigarettes that would last a week. I can't make a pack of cigarettes last a half a day. But I'm not smoking a whole cigarette. You know what I mean? Like, I'll get a couple drags on it and I flick it. I don't relight a burnt cigarette because my one buddy called them a refry, and he was like, yeah, don't do that. They stink. And so, you know, I don't know how much I actually smoke in a day, but
too much.
I'm still smoking. Well, what about a cigar? Are you going to say a cigar is better for you?
No.
You know, but there's people that smoke cigars. They're like, cigarettes are bad for you. And, you know, you're still getting nicotine. You're still taking chemicals in your body, you know, and I don't knock any of it. Like, everybody, free will.
What is it with the fucking cigarette, though? Because you chew.
I don't know. I chew.
Do them Zins, dude.
I don't like that. I don't like not being able to eat. My grandpa started me on chewing a long time ago. We were working in the woods. He was like, here, let's keep sawdust and stuff out of your mouth. And it was beech nut, you know, the big leaves, the red man.
Red man.
And, you know, like, I got the spins, and then after that, there's something about me that it doesn't matter how poison it is. If I like it, I'll go back for more. So I'm really careful about, you know, certain things that I do, because I just know that if I like it, I'm all in, you know. We joke about, like, we'll be on the road somewhere, and I'll be like, let's go into McDonald's and grab a burger. Like, I know it's nothing good for me, so I normally don't do it. And we stopped the other day. We were traveling. We just wanted some French fries. I was like, I just want a burger. And it was just what I thought it would be. Terrible for me, you know, and I still just, you know, I did it.
Every now and then it's all right.
It is, but
you should up the cardio game, though.
I'm trying.
For the cigarette smoking and all that shit. Cardio will at least help thin that blood a little bit.
That's what the booze is for. You gotta counter, you know. I've never been a gym rat.
I do like the track that you're on, though, and I'm not saying you need to go to the gym.
No.
But I mean, and I know you're walking around a lot and bending, twisting, and lifting and doing all that shit at work.
Yeah, all the above.
You know, so that helps.
Yeah.
But how old are you now? 44.
43. I'll be 44 in January. So
you're getting to be about that. So I'm 45. So it's like right around that time. As soon as you start creeping in the mid 40s, you start thinking about shit like what you said. I don't know, 8 minutes ago when you were like, your kids aren't gonna. The one thing they're not going to remember or care about is how much you worked. They're gonna care about how much you were there.
Right, and that's a hard play. You know, I mean, working oil and gas. My kids had clothes. They had a place to stay. We had nice cars. We had a nice home, and it was a hard trade. You know what I mean? And you got to look at it as how far are you prepared to go? What's your distance level? You know what I mean? Some people they're this distance, and some people will go as far as it takes. I've always been. I'll go as far as it takes, you know. And my kids are grown now. You know, my daughter will be 20 and my son will be 23. You know, it's amazing to see how fast time goes by. And things that have changed. I've never been real big on TV watching. Like, I when I worked oil field, I watched a lot of movies. But, me and Sarah just went and rented an Airbnb over the weekend. There wasn't a TV there. And it was probably some of the best connection time that we've had, because TV really is a distraction in your life. It's a way to just kind of not think about anything. And I'd be perfectly fine not having a TV. I could do with that. I like my music, that's one thing I've always been really hip on, and everything. I mean, last night I was listening to the Vienna Orchestra. Like, I listen to variety of music because I like music, I don't like TV. There's nothing,
we stopped TV years ago.
But it was really nice.
But the other thing you got to stop doing is the fucking scrolling.
And that's a big one too. My business would definitely benefit from me spending more time involved with the internet game and advertising. I mean, we've had conversations about advertising. My business kind of started with word to mouth. I mean, it was all word of mouth. Like, I didn't really do the advertising. I've done advertising, and I like being involved in the community with advertising. I kind of like moving out there. It was like I had established my customers. People knew where I was, and we kind of went on from there. But I would like to be able to get more into doing something different, because I'm doing auto accessories. People don't even know I do auto accessories. Like, we're doing ceramic coats, which we started doing ceramic coats 3 years ago in March, and I think I've done almost 85 ceramic coats, which at one point in time I was only doing them during the weekends. So that's 85 weekends that I worked, so, and it's hard because most of the things that I'm really into are nice weather things. They're not winter things. And when I slow down, I don't get to go ride my motorcycle or, like buying a snowmobile in northern Michigan is probably not high on my radar, just because where's the snow, and I don't want to go chasing snow. And a lot of people do it, but I just,
I mean, people are going to the UP right now just to ride their sleds,
just to rip it, So there's a lot of things going on. I was talking the new pastor. I messed this up for the Catholic Church. Talking with him, and we're having conversation. We're going to be getting married here in August, and we're talking about.
Well, there's a news flash.
It's just August. I'm not giving you the day,
Congratulations, dickhead.
Thanks, buddy. A couple years in. And like I told him, I believe he's 33, and I said, it'll be interesting to talk to you 10 years from now to see where your point of view and your interests are in comparison to now. Because I think as the time passes, we really change our outlooks on things. And there's so much coming into our world as far as just a wide variety of things that we never thought we would experience growing up. The things that we did when we were kids aren't doing that anymore. And the stuff that they're doing as kids, we never thought about doing, because we were in an active generation. Like, my folks always told me, go outside. I had bikes, I had Tonka trucks, I had airplanes. Like, I had things that kept me out of the house. And it seems like somehow that turned in a huge way, because I remember growing up in this town, we'd be hanging out downtown. I was at the beach. Like, I pretty much spent my summers at the beach.
Yeah,
I lived
100%.
on First Street. I walked to the beach. I hung out at the beach. Like, that was the hub. That's where everything was going on. And I don't know how much it is. It's as we get older, we're not going to the beach. It's
I go to the beach all the time.
You do not, for film shoots. But it really is like getting old in your hometown, because this is my hometown. I've spent the majority of my life here, and seeing things grow and seeing things change, it's been an adjustment. Like, I always joke say that this town's like Footloose. There's nowhere to dance, and me and Sarah really enjoyed dancing. So the nightlife isn't, when we were growing up, this place was wild. I mean, 2:30 in the morning, people were going downtown to Sunrise. Like, there was a lot happening here for adult activities in our age time, and I don't see it that much, but I'm not in it either. Like, I go to work, I go home, and we do.
Yeah, there's still not really a place to go dancing, dog.
No, I like to cut
unless it's a wedding at Stronach Hall.
Electric Glide, here
That's
I
where
come.
you need to have the receptions.
We're gonna be at the beautiful
VFW.
No. We're gonna be up on the hill. We're gonna be up at we're on top of the hill right here
at the courthouse.
No, the other courthouse. This is a part of my brain fog. I get blanks. So all in all, like I said, it's I think for me at least, is trying to manage my time, which is tough, you know, and really trying to figure out what's next. You know, I see a lot of things that you're posting on about, you know, kind and being good to people, and it's definitely an adventure shooting for that, you know, because there's
getting rid of the bullshit too, all the negative people, and you're like, and you can cut that shit right out.
I pretty much have, like, you know, that
we talked about that not that long ago,
right? Well, you know. And it's you know, I'm not saying that you cut everybody out of your life, but you have to. I think as you grow, other people don't grow with you. And when you look behind you and see the people, not so much that you've left behind, you just left them where they wanted to be.
Yeah,
you know,
just keep the distance.
And it's not a like, hey, I don't want to talk to you. It's just we have lots of people that we could talk about that we know that they never made the growth rate. You know, they stayed right where they were, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, everybody's happy where they're happiest. You know, and if you're not,
that's
like,
a good point.
I've had a lot of people that, you know, they've over the time they've been like, man, I hate this job, I hate going here, and in my mind, it's like, then go get another job.
Then go get a different job.
You either like bitching or you like where you're at, but you complaining about where you're at and not changing it.
Yeah, I will say it's not that easy to just go get another job, but like, while you're hating where you're at, then go look for something else. Actively
find a new job. You know? My mom had a lot of good things to say for us kids, and me and my brother and my other brother, we're both definitely, we made our own path, and we didn't listen to a lot of people growing up, even though they had really good sound advice. But my mom said something that stuck with me, and she said, no matter where you are, there you are, you know, or no matter where you go, there you are. So these people that have decided to move away from here and go somewhere else, if you don't change what you want in your life, you can go 1,000 miles from here and find the exact same people, the exact same lifestyle. So, you know, it was like when we go out of town somewhere, you can be like, I'm going to be a race car driver tonight, because nobody knows me, nobody knows, you know. So I think that really there's a little bit of truth behind that, because you got to find what makes you happy. You know, and I think a lot of people spend a lot of time looking for that when sometimes it's right in front of you. You know, like I'm happy with my family. I'm happy being able to spend time with people that I love, even though it's not as much as I would like. That's a part of my goals, is working to achieve more of that. You know, because we could spend our whole life looking for something, and you might even be standing on it. You know, and if you don't move, how are you gonna know? You know, so it's been a good adventure. I'm definitely happy with a lot of things in my life, and there's always things, you know. This time of year, it gives you an opportunity to reflect on how your year was and what you want to do different. You can talk about it, but if you don't actually put in the work, the incentive or the change that you want, you're not going to change, you know. So just like with me, I mean, I've been as big as 250 and I've been as small as 167. And through all that transitional time during the weight loss, it's really been where I've been most happiest, you know, like, or what you're doing to yourself or emotional. There's so many things with weight and how you feel, you know, like I really try to find where I'm just comfortable, you know. I still like ice cream. There's certain things that are hard for me to just put down, you know. It's hard. And with the smoking, when I quit smoking, it was easy for me to turn to food because it's right there. It's everywhere, you know. So, and, you know, so I really try to find things that are better, you know, better for me. And like it's hard, you know, when you go out to eat, there's not a lot of things on the menu when you go somewhere that's going to make you feel good when you're eating raw or you're on a natural diet, you know. So that's, you know, you got to really. Is
that what you're doing then? You would say more of a natural kind of?
I think I'm still, like, I'm doing my juice and I'm doing some of the things. I would say probably 40%. I'm probably 40% on a good eating path. The other 60, it's really hard, you know. Like, I bought one of those Blackstone Grills, like, from Sam's Club.
Nice.
Love that thing. Like, it's easy to do rice, vegetables. It's just a timing thing, you know. Like, I still like those. What are those the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? They're terrible for you. Oh
Christ. You're talking about those little smacker things,
whatever
they are.
I like those. Those are bad. You know.
Oh God.
But it's like with me, my day is really strung out. It's a long day. So, like, you know, I was up this morning at 5. I was at the shop at 5:30, and I've been working ever since then. Like, I stopped working, got ready, came down here. So for me, I've had 3 cups of coffee this morning. I haven't had my juice yet. If I would have had my juice, I probably only had like a half a cup of coffee. Because, like, you find things that you think are going to do it for you. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's really whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. you know, so you can't expect anything great to come from stuff that's going to cause slugginess and not make you feel right, you know.
There's going to be a bunch of people that are going to start to watch this podcast, and they're going to go, who the fuck is this guy? I don't remember this guy.
Well,
I don't remember Lane being like this.
I
love it. I love it.
I still like barbecue, and I still like, you know, there's lots of stuff that I like that's no good.
But I mean, just the path, the health, you know, wanting to spend more time with family and friends, prioritizing work-life balance, which I think it's fake. I think really it's finding the balance in the chaos, to be honest with you. Because whenever I try to think about or wrap my head around or listen to people talk about work-life balance, I think it's whatever kind of works for a particular person in that moment, because it is chaotic when you're running businesses.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it's two full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And then trying to balance everything else around it. I just, my kids made it through the suffering part of it. You know what I mean? Like, they went through that period of time where I should have been there and I wasn't. So, like, now it's the adult time. So, like, with my daughter working at the shop, I think it's awesome because I get to see her and we get to have an adult relationship that if she wasn't here, it would be whenever at her convenience to see me. Because with my life being the way it is, I've gotten to the point, I would say in the last 3 years, I really got a lot better about my scheduling. Like, I have just it's basically just a calendar, a Scholastic calendar, and I go through there and I X days off, because if I don't, I'll work. And when I first got started, I don't think no was in my vocabulary. Somebody wants something done, it was Sunday, it was end of the day, and I'd say, yeah, sure, you know. And I've learned that nobody cares about my life at the end of the day. Nobody cares whether I'm there tomorrow or you know.
Well, yeah, they don't know you. I mean, your family and friends care about your life.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the most part, nobody cares that if you're not here at 9:05, they're going to go somewhere else if you said you're going to be open at 9. So you got to really find what makes you happy too. Like, I enjoy being around people. I like the social aspect of my job. I like the start to finish. The customer comes in, they're unhappy. When they leave, they're happy. So, like, as far as owning a business, I was going to open a restaurant. That was kind of the other thing on my list of things that I was going to do. But my uncle managed restaurants his entire life, and he's like, you know, why would you ever want to open a restaurant? You know, mostly, I don't know what the rate of failure is on restaurants, but it's pretty high.
It's pretty high, dude.
You know, and it comes down to the same thing. You know, you become the face of the business. Like, people come here to see you and make purchases from you. So when you're not here, sometimes they won't even buy anything because you're not here, because they came to see you. Same thing with me. Everybody, you know, it's always told my guys, when they made a mistake, nobody cares that you clean the car.
Yeah.
They want to talk to me, and I didn't even clean the car. So then I get my ass chewed for something that I wasn't even involved in. So please remember to put stuff back in the car, or don't miss in between the seats, or whatever it may be, you know. So that was something that was part of it too, you know. Like, I'm a morning person. I like getting up, being there early, having my coffee. I'm always in good spirits. I mean, 99% of the time, I'm the first guy to be chipper, you know, because who wants to work with somebody that's miserable and grumpy in the morning?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and I think a lot of that too is just the things that you learn as you go, you know. And some people didn't get an opportunity to figure out how you affect. I always say, you know, you got a guy that comes to work and he's in a bad mood, he'll infect everybody with his negativity, because it just, you know, you're in a good mood, somebody comes in and it just ruins it. It's like putting oil in water. It doesn't take a whole lot of oil to cover the top of the water.
Right.
So, and that's what negativity is it's really just it's a poison, you know. And I tried my best to be chipper, because it just makes my day go better, you know. It really does. And I think it helps other people along too, because you could find somebody that's on the cusp of having a bad day or good day.
You betcha, bud.
And you come in and you're like, hey, let's kick today's ass. Or you come in and be like, hey, you asshole, I'm going to kick your ass. It you know, same words, different organization, it'll change everything, you know. And I've had people before in the past that come in and they're grumpy and they're irritable. Their work speaks exactly of their attitude of how they're feeling. So I've always tried, you know, the music. To me, it's important because it brings you up, you know. It really does. You know, like things that I've suggested down here, like some airplanes and a louder stereo. You've worked on the radio a little bit, but we still haven't got an airplane hanging. But, you know, these are all things to me, like, it always makes me happy, you know. Like, we were walking yesterday in Frankenmuth and we came to the store, all it was cupcakes. And Sarah walked through the door and she was so happy. Like, it was like, she was just like, And I'm like, really? I'm like, cupcakes? I was like, I've been buying flowers all these years. All I got to do is buy some cupcakes.
Yeah, right.
They had gluten-free. They had vegan, so she was like, yes, but that's really what it, I think as we mature, there's a lot less times where we're just like over ecstatic about something, I mean, I wish there was more of that in our lives as we get older, because it really is. It's good for you. It's good for you to be your cup overflowing with joy and happiness, and I think everybody deserves it. I just wish I had a way for everybody to get what they wanted, because it really is something that we all should strive for, and it's hard. I mean, I talked to a customer the other day and has some life happenings going on, and it's not good news. Like, everybody goes through the same things. We all have loss, we all have gains, we all have hard times, and I think a lot of us forget about that and kind of overlook it or step away from it. And you don't want to be. You cannot be consumed with everyone's life problems. It'll ruin your life, and that was kind of the thing, is you can't. My father said it to me a lot. He's like, it's hard to help somebody if you're not helping yourself. So you can't offer someone help and not take care of your own life. And there's people that do that too, like you try to help someone to the point where you're going down, you can't sink.
Yeah, you can't sink with the ship.
So I'm really like trying to find where I want to be tomorrow, and yesterday's gone. So, look at my brother always. He's like, can't live your life in a rearview mirror, and you can't. Like, you have to keep stepping ahead. You can look back and kind of try to figure out where you made mistakes and redirect it, but you can't always be looking back, and it's just, I've got so many great people in my life, and they always have, my one boy's like, chest up, head out, or chest out, head up, like, so there's all these little positive things that people, throw out to you, and it just depends on how it catches you, like, everybody finds what you need some way, somehow.
And when we talk about things like this, I talk about stuff like this a lot, because it's just kind of the path that I'm trying to stay on, when I say keep my distance from that negativity, kind of charge forward in that. Listen, I have bad days.
Oh yeah, we all
have bad days.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't want to hear, just be positive or focus on the good shit.
No.
And I get that, because a lot of people, they go to wake up thinking about the negative shit that they're getting ready to go after.
Right.
Have a cup of coffee, go out the door to work all day at a job they don't like. Come home, fucking scroll, worry about paying the bills, worry about getting the groceries. And, hey, I've had those worries, You've had those worries.
I think everybody's had those worries,
But I do really feel if you can find silver linings and focus on making yourself better and being a better person, being kinder, and pruning that negative shit out of your life as best you can, things just start to kind of fall into place, man.
Well, and I was out visiting my buddy's farm, and I'm sitting there and I'm talking with one of the guys there, and there was a new employee there, and we're kind of chitter chatting, and he's like, "Yeah, this employee here's been on 22 days in a row without a day off," and she wasn't complaining about it, and I just like when he said that, it was like automatic. I was like, well, welcome to the working class where you want to keep your lights on, your heat bill on, and you'd like to have food. Congratulations. You know what I mean? And
winning.
I think that sometimes people get consumed with, I don't get to do this and I don't get to do this. But really, the path that you're on will allow you to do that someday. Because it's not always about the instant gratification of your cell phone or scrolling or dating. Like, sometimes there is work involved in getting where you want to go. And it's all about the journey. There is no easy button. You can't skip ahead in your life where you want to go. You got to work through the steps, and it isn't always rainbows and sunshine. But if you weren't doing that, how much more clouds and rain would you have if you weren't working towards your goal? So, I think setting goals, whether they're way far out or today goals, I just want to get to lunch, and it's being able to see the reward of it. Because if you don't, then what are you working for? If there's no joy in putting in all the work or going through that hard time or struggle, it's all about the completion rate. I mean, really, at the end of the day, that's pretty much what anybody starts their day for, is to complete it. So how is your path going to be once you get there? Like, I always loved it. This one's my favorite. People that go, it's going to be a shitty day. That's my favorite, because I really do feel like whatever you ask for,
It's what you're going to
it's
get.
what you're going to get.
Yep.
Whatever superpower above you want to believe in, you know, I just can't believe this happened. It's like, well, did you ask to have a great day? Or, you know, and there's
Yeah.
always circumstances.
Sure.
You can't drive on Maypop tires and not expect to have a flat. But, you know, the what you get is what you ask for, you know, and I've asked for a lot of great things, and they have come to me, but it hasn't been instantaneous, you know. It's been a lot of ditch digging to get to the top of the hill, and I'm still digging it. Like, at no point I think will you ever just be able to kick back and put your feet up and be like, I made it, because about
Yeah.
that time something else is going to come rolling at you. But how you get there and your outlook, you know, I've met people that are way too happy. I don't take that away from them, but I know just as much as they know that you can pretend that you're way too happy, and really that's not what it is, you know.
Right.
But I think in the whole scheme of things, like, we're on a good path. I think we're all on a good path. I just don't know where that takes. Everybody has a different course, you know. It's like with smoking cigarettes or anything. Yeah, it's bad, but am I going to get hit by a bus when I walk outside?
You could.
Or am I going to live to be 75, 80? You know, I joke with some of my friends. I'm like, you know, that oxygen tank is still pretty heavy to tote around when we go get coffee when we're retired, you know, and I don't want nothing to do with that, you know. And it's not that smoking cigarettes for me, it may not be lung cancer or something like that. It might be something massive, heart attack. And if I wouldn't have smoked, I would have gained a few more years. I don't know, you know, but I've always, you know, the conversations that we're having are no different than the conversations that I'm having with my fiance. Like, we talk about our life and things. So it's good to be able to come and talk to you about it, because, you know, just on the same, might be a different book, but we might be close to the same page. You know, everybody has different paths.
Yeah.
So, but no, I had no idea what I was getting into down here with the fuzzy microphone. So this is nice. Did they have this in any other color?
No, but I do want a new setup. I do
Yeah.
want a new setup. I'm working on getting a new setup for sure.
Okay. We need the green screen, so that way we can just do it. We could be at the beach. Just to
Yeah,
put
what
this
I'm going to
up.
do, though, is I'm going to get a big TV, and I'm going to use it to, like, pull up stuff. So, like, if we start talking about shit, I'll have my laptop here, can pull it up. I think it'd be a nice effect. Maybe have a logo in the background. Because, honestly, a lot of the stuff that you see in the background here, I probably shouldn't be having, because they're not, like, sponsors or anything. So
No, well, I
they're
mean,
just
it's-
kind of getting all of this.
It's life sponsors, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
we've worked in some of these things. in
The
past.
longer you do it, the more views you get, the less you want some of this stuff.
Yeah, well,
sitting around.
you know, and I really don't. It's been so long since we've done anything on film. That's what we were talking about this morning. It's been 6 years, 6.5 years since me and you have sat down and talked about anything, and I was a lot more nervous.
Buttoned up.
then. Well, I mean, I always come in correct. I'm still, I'm not going out of the house in sweatpants yet, but you know, I just try to, you know, like, it's been such an epic journey. We both started within what, like, basically, I think
A year. I think a year.
You
I
know.
think you opened your shop, and then about a year later.
Yeah, I was on June 16th is when I came in, so the 30th. And, you know, not knowing, it's always the unknown. And the, you know, like for you, I mean, I've bounced off so many ideas. I'm like, I want a pool hall
And I keep
upstairs.
deflecting.
I know, he's a good deflector. Like, I still want a pool hall upstairs, though, you know. But I just, the things that, like, even where we started from 6.5 years ago or 5.5 years ago, our outlook has changed. Because when you first come in, you were like, this place is going to be like 7-Eleven. I'm going to be, doors always going to never stop, you know? And things change because you find out what your customer base is, you find out what their needs are, and you also find out what your needs are. And, you know, your needs, like, you've changed a lot in that period of time. I mean, the running man, the bicycling, you know, like, you were kind of in the bicycling a little bit when you came in, but you really devoted your time and your spirit to it because that's what you enjoy. You know, I did a lot of stuff when I first got started. I mean, I used to fly a Tensor power kite. It's like a 14-foot kite. Like, I enjoyed that, but my time of being involved in my career took that away. So, you know, I think you really are going for the goal of someday being able to retire and do all the things you love. I just, at the rate I'm going, I hope I'm not too old to be able to do the things.
Yeah, well, I just feel my mindset is to do those things that I love while I'm doing.
I'm trying. It's just like I said,
know.
the peak time for me is premier season. It's the nice weather. It's all that, you know. I mean, I've rode my motorcycle a little bit more than I did last year, you know, but it's like I got all these fun things to do, but no time to do them, you know. So I'm hoping to try to figure that out. It's a balance, you know. And you've got young kids. What's yours?
She's 8. My youngest is 8.
Yeah, that's still young kids. So you got all the fun times coming up, and the not so fun times. You know,
No, we're taking my son to Ferris next month.
Awesome.
Move in on the 5th. My oldest daughter's going to graduate next year.
Okay.
You know.
It happens.
Quick.
I mean, and that's, you know, like, I can't believe that, you know, even though we're not quite into 8 years has just been a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
You know, especially with the COVID stuff that we have going on. Like, that was, for a business owner, that was a very challenging time. That was a make or break situation with that, you know. Luckily, I was deemed essential as well as you, which, you know, we made.
Tax money, dog. Government's going to get their tax money.
Come on, no.
You know, like this. The shit that I sell gets taxed and taxed and taxed. They're not going to shut me down, homeboy.
No, they'll keep
you had
going.
to scrub the COVID out of vehicles.
I did, and you know, I did a lot of good during that time. You know, like I said, back to that Sam's Club, I had a couple friends that needed a couple shit tickets, and I was just so happened to be well stocked on that. Something about wiping your ass, I don't ever want to be without that.
No.
You know, so it was, and we did a video on that. I think I had a case, fresh case in the car. You know, but. It's just like I said. It's been a good run. It really has. I'm always excited to see another year and see what's going on and changes that are happening, and you know, just kind of roll with the punches. At this point, I feel like we're both in the same type of mentality. It's there's no way my boat will sink, you know. So I just keep forging ahead.
Yeah. If I lost it all, I'd figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if I would go that route, but you know. I always laugh because I can't remember. It's the thing where life is going bad, and the koala bear, he puts on his Speedo and he starts washing cars and he's like swimming across the hood, and then his buddy shows up and he's a lamb, so he's like you wash, I'll dry, and I love that part because it's just like, you know, it don't matter how bad it gets, we still got to keep pushing ahead.
Yeah, you have to.
And the koala bear might be me. I don't have a Speedo, but, you know, I definitely have friends that are lambs, you know, and they would come in and help me to make sure that no matter how bad it got, they were still there to help. And I'm the same way, you know. If you called me tomorrow and said you needed a cooler, I got you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's a part of that journey, is knowing that, you know, I could have been like, no, man, I ain't got no coolers, but I'm not, you know. If you need something that's going to help you out, I'm always been good for that.
Dude, the other day, not the other day, but the last time I was at your spot, I pulled out on the highway and looked at that fucking mailbox of yours. How you got to still be getting jammed up over that?
No, I made it out unscathed on that. That was a tough.
He's got
tough
a fucking. Run. He's got. How big is this thing that you made?
It is 4.5 foot tall by. I think it's 2. I think it was 3 foot wide, 4.5 tall, and like 3.5 deep.
Green mailbox.
I took a lot of flack from that from the in-laws because they're like, you couldn't get a blue one. I'm like, those are my shop colors. So, no, that was I. So I was sitting in my shop.
Fucking big.
I get really weird ideas. I get a lot of crazy ideas. So, you know, I was sitting there and I was overdue for a sign. So I needed a sign. I still need a sign. But I was like, I just didn't want to make the investment because you have to do a monumental sign. So you got to have 2 posts, then it's got to be decorated, it's got to be lit. And I was just like, my uncle, who lives over in Holton Lake area, has a huge pole, and on the top of it, there's a mailbox and it says airmail on it. And it's been there, flag's been up, you know, never got a package. And I was like, but it catches your eye, you know? And I'm like, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest mailbox anybody's ever seen. So I called up a construction company to come over and look at it. And he looked at it, and I was like, I want a mailbox like this, but like 300% bigger. He's like, well, how big? And I'm like, big. So they built it. I loaded it up in a trailer. I took it up to Traverse City, had it powder coated, got it back, and then he offered the construction company. They also have a crane company. He offered with the price of what I paid for the mailbox to help me set it. We're setting the mailbox, got a little crane there, and county gets out of their truck. They walk out, and they go, chick. And he goes, you can't have that. And I go, well, I've got a lot of money invested in this, and everybody I talked to said I can have it. Well, you're going to have to pull it out. I said, well, crane's here. I'll pull it out later. So I set it. Within 25 minutes, my phone starts ringing. It's MDOT. MDOT's like, hey, we just got some pictures here, and it doesn't look like that's going to be a good fit. And I'm like, well, what do I need to do? I was like, could I get breakaway poles? What do you want? Well, could it be supported on one pole? And I'm like, I don't think so, man. I think it's like probably 285, maybe 300 pounds.
Fucking like, MDOT called you?
Oh, yeah, MDOT was on the phone with me. So, and they were great. I just, back and forth. So you can't have it. You can have it. Postmaster at the time came out. He's like, well, I looked at it. I like it. You can keep it. And I'm like, sweet. Like 2 days later, nope, you're going to have to pull it. This is like a month of back and forth. So the last thing was you're going to have to pull it. And then they call me back up and they're like, well, we just got out of a meeting with our lawyers and we looked at all the documentation. You can have it, but I can't put my name on it. So it can't say L. King and it can't say Memory Lane Detailing, because if I do that, then it's considered a sign, and then I'd have to move it out of the roadway, which the roadway is a ways. They got, I think it's 33 foot from the center line that they own. So, and another thing, just another labor intensive. I tried digging that by hand, and I don't know if you've ever dug along the side of the roadway, but it's tough. So I was out there with the pickaxe, and I'm like, this ain't working. So I went to Grand Rental and rented the whole bowl. But it's those. It was great, and I did the color of the sign was, what's that? It was like, it's got a metal flake in it. And then I tried getting somebody to make the vinyl graphic for me, and everybody was too busy. So I made all the vinyl graphic, and when I tell you I spent like 6 hours cutting out letters, I spent 6 hours. I cut out both sides. So I did Memory Lane Detailing, I did the address, and I did 3M Reflective. So I cut all that out, and then when they told me I was so pissed, because I'm like, I got all these letters now, what am I going to do with them? But it looks good, and I like it, just because I've seen so many people drive by, they smile, they stop, they honk. So, and it was just like, it was easy, you know what I mean? Like, just something to bring a smile to somebody's face is really easy, it's, once you're done with it, it was a lot of work doing it, getting to that point, but that was the point of it. It was something that somebody's gonna be like, oh, look at that thing, like, because I did, and the guy that built it, I said, you can't ever build one the same size. You can build one bigger, you can build one smaller, but that one's mine,
Do you think Culver's next door has been going to be a positive or negative impact on the property value there?
Oh, it for sure will be a positive impact on there, because you're going to be bringing people in. It's, the neighbors there, I don't think they were ready to see that developed as quick. Like with me, I was kind of like tucked in a little bit, but I think with Culver's coming in, my concern with it is the traffic. I absolutely hate that it goes from 55 to 45 and back up to 55.
I think it's going to be kind of, the first week, when everybody's going to be like, I can't wait to get a fucking burger, and they're going to be lined up out there, it's going to be an absolute shit show.
Absolutely. But, I think with anything, I know we've gotten some newer restaurants to town, but we haven't gotten any chain restaurants. I'm really disappointed that we lost Hardee's. I love the Frisco burger.
Yeah, shout out to Hardee's for sure. Carl's Jr., Hardee's.
Oh, God. When I would go work
Frisco
out of
burger
state,
was it, dude.
Well, because they've got, what is it? It's All-Star Burger or Star, which is kind of like Hardee's, but not. But anytime I get down
south. Do you remember
south,
the lunch buffet, the taco bar? Here was the fucking goat.
That was all right. And we talked about the one that was at
so good.
Wendy's as well, because they had a little buffet in there too.
Yeah, Wendy's.
Well.
I'm saying it wrong. It wasn't at Hardee's. Hardee's did have a salad bar, but Wendy's had the taco bar, which was money, dude.
And I take a lot of flack because I can still see, like Ponderosa. Everybody calls it Ponderosa. I like Ponderosa. I like, the chicken wings and the nacho cheese sauce and the dessert bar. This was probably like 2 or 3 years ago. This was during the county fair, and then my daughter was sleeping. I was like, hey, get up. And she's like, why? What are we doing? I was like, well, the Lions are throwing their pancake breakfast. And my dad always drug me to those, because it was just like, you're eating and I don't have
their
to
fish
cook.
boil was always good.
All of those things are good, and I like supporting those things. I still like going to Elks, and went to the Legion for their fish fry, and I like going to those, So, but, it's hard for here, because it's the things, I don't want to see the downtown go away. And I honestly feel that if we were to get a Walmart here or another big chain store, it would be very not good for our downtown. Just because I like going downtown. Like, we went downtown Bay City the other day, and I had a great time. Like, I wanted to go to all the antique stores, but there wasn't enough time. But I like doing that. I like going in and looking. And even in Frankenmuth the other day, like, we went into a lot of stores, even though there was similar products in most of the stores.
Yeah.
It's still like, I like going in there because you never know what you're going to find. And to go into one of those stores this year and to come back and be like, it's gone. Where'd it go? You know what I mean? I don't like seeing that. I like to try to see things stay and flourish and do well, you know, especially for small downtowns like we have. But it's not monsters.
Not a very big
No.
downtown.
No.
Not a very big downtown.
No, but we, you know, and for me, like, and you as well, like, growing up here, there's a lot of things that we don't have. Ravens, like having a men's store where you could go buy a nice button up.
I will tell you, dude,
You know,
that the not having a men's clothing store is, I mean, full disclosure, the majority of my wardrobe is beer T-shirts, but anything else that I wear pretty much comes from the Outpost. But like, I can't go get a dress shirt and a dress pair of pants and slacks. My bad. You know, we've got, you know, if I need something for a wedding, if I gotta suit up,
Men's Warehouse.
you know, I gotta go out of town.
Yeah.
Fucking Men's Warehouse. I'll tell you a story.
Uh-oh.
So, I was on 11 anxiety one day, shocker, and I don't like people getting in my personal space, right? Okay? Like, this is close enough.
It's good. Respect my bubble.
Yeah. So, we're going to get a little personal and graphic here for a hot second.
Oh, boy.
I was up in Traverse City, or was it Grand Rapids? It was Traverse City, I think. Anyways, I was going to have a reverse vasectomy. So, the reason why I bring that up is because I was already on, like, you know, turned up, you know, this one goes to 11. I was there.
Okay.
But I was also looking for a suit. Before
That would
compliment
your swollen balls. Is that what you're shooting for here?
So I had to get a suit. You know, obviously I was with Betsy, so we went to Men's. We went to Men's Warehouse, and I walked in. You know, when you see the commercial for Men's Warehouse, it's like, oh, they got all these suits, and they do,
right?
But it's all like tailored shit.
Oh yeah,
they try to fucking tailor you. I walked in, and instantly some asshole is right in my grill. Like, how can we help you today? Which, hey, listen, I did customer service, but I was, like I said, I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm just going to look around. And he was like, well, it's kind of different here. And I'm like, I get it, but I'm just going to look for what I want. And he's like, well, what size are you? And I'm like, how about I just look? And then he put a fucking tape measure around my neck to try to, like, measure me. And I turned around, and it was everything in me, not the Jean-Claude Van Damme in the throat.
You snapped.
And Betsy's like, whoa. And I go, we're getting the fuck out of here. And we were there for like 4 minutes. Anyways, and then, so I'll finish. That was my Men's Warehouse experience. So that's kind of like a anticlimactic. But we get to the doctor's office, and the nurse was like, have you ever had a Xanax before? Because I was just fucking.
Yeah, you were high as
yeah. Okay. And I'm like, no. And there was no anesthesia or anything for this.
Right. You got to watch?
Dude. So anyways, she gives me two Vicodin and a Xanax.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she's like, take this. I said, okay. And it was 2 minutes. I was fucking like, oh, God, I can't do this. I'm sweating. I'm like, 2 minutes later, I was looking at Betsy going, let's go. I'm ready.
Back to the Men's Warehouse.
Yeah. Anyways, when they were done putting me back together, there was a lot of blood.
Right.
It was all over the place, dude. And when Bets walked in, the look on her face was like she was walking into like a murder scene.
Right.
Well, when I had the original vasectomy, so much information here. I told him, I said, cut it, solder it, fucking, I don't ever want to have kids again. I'm good. So when he went in to find them, he was like, whoa, well, you got one I can get a hold of, and the other one is really burnt away. So this is going to take a minute. And it was as if he went in there with pliers, and he's just trying to pull it together so he could splice them together again. And I'm like, I can feel it. Fucking blood everywhere. The little tubes, you know.
Yeah,
you have to go in and like try to put them back together.
So you had it cut and then you had it put back together?
Yeah, and that's where my youngest came from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I thought that was a one and done type of deal.
No, you can go back in and reverse it.
Weren't you supposed to put some in a jar somewhere? Like they froze it up for you?
No, I wished. I
Would've
mean,
been
honestly,
easy,
it would have been a lot
easy.
easier.
Yeah,
It had been like, I don't know, maybe, I think 9 years.
Okay.
So the doctor was like, ugh, I'm going to tell you, you're reaching the point of probably it's not going to work. And I'm like, well, we're already here, so let's do it.
Oh, man. Let me get out.
Yeah.
Well, that's...
that was my Men's Warehouse story.
Okay.
All right, before we leave, I think we could end on that. But before we leave, we didn't even mention the fact that you are the owner of Memory Lane Detailing.
I am.
Because there's going to be people listening to this going, who the fuck is he talking to?
Yeah. And we've been, how long have we known each other? Just so this isn't, I didn't just meet
forever.
you this
I mean,
week.
since high school, since school, for sure.
And you graduated.
Well over 25
what year did you
years.
graduate, 96? 97. Yeah. So you're a year older. I graduated in 98. So, that's been a while. We've known each other, back when we were way cooler.
No, I think we're cooler now.
Maybe, but only in our mind.
It's true. This is true.
Yeah. But, yeah, so...
Where can they find you? Where
480 East Parkdale. I used to say across the street from H&R Block and kitty corner of the gas station, but now I can say I'm right next to Culver's.
Yeah.
So everybody knows about that. So yeah, I'm still there and not going anywhere. I'll be there. I don't know if I'll be a landmark or not, but I'm here for now.
No website, but
you
don't have a website. You have Facebook. Memory Lane Detailing on Facebook. I'll put all that stuff in the show notes.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know what I was getting into.
There'll be a link. We'll put a link there. And put the
I wanted
address
to shotgun a beer, but you were out on that. And I personally like having a drink in the morning every once in a while. It is a Monday, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. I always tell people I work every day that ends in Y. So that way, this lady was really going off about Monday. She's like, I hate Mondays. And I go, they all end with Y. So why don't you pick one day a week that you really love and then pretend that all the days a week are that day? Because Monday is no different than Sunday. I mean, it's all how you make it.
That's right.
So, I just look at... And, yes, Monday is typically weird for everything that could go wrong, will go wrong. But it also has a lot to do with your outlook on Monday. It's just another day, at the end of the day. Just one to take off the list. So I just keep plugging with them all the same, What else you gonna do?
You've had a lot of good ones today, bud.
We're
gonna do this again. I like it.
You're in on it.
I'm in on it.
All right. Well,
I'm not gonna do the juice and shit though.
No, you don't want to do. I'll bring you some.
We'll try it next time.
I think you'll like it. Everybody says it's gritty, but that's nice.
Good show.